Alright, so JosefVStalin, and welcome to my 22nd part of Let's Play Empire Total War. And in this part, I don't have a battle for you, and I don't really have a status update for you, but I thought I needed to address the people, because, do a little bit of a fireside chat, because just yesterday I passed the 500 subscriber mark, and I thought I needed to address the fans just a little bit, and maybe say, like, wow, thanks, that's like incredible. I never thought that I would ever reach anything of that magnitude. I remember when I first started this, I was thinking to myself, you know what, I get 40 views, I'm happy, I'm a happy man. But no, I just blew that out of the water, and again, thank you guys so much. And that being said, I like to try and tease a little bit of something I'm trying to get going in the future, because I was out yesterday, and almost, so oddly, almost at the exact time that I got my email saying that that was my 500th subscriber. I met this girl when I was out with my friends. She was a friend of a friend, and she happens to be going to school for film. She's going to some kind of, I don't know, media arts or something like that, and she wants to make film her career. And I'm going to talk to her in the near future and see if she'll help me throw something a little bit more substantial and a little bit more professional together than what my last video was, because again, I want to do sort of a special thank you video, but make it a little bit something more. So I'm going to talk to her, see if I can enlist her help into getting something a little bit better. But so that being said, don't hold your breath for it any time in the near future. But I still got to talk to her and everything and see if she'll help. But definitely try and look out for that, because I don't know, I think I'll be able to pull something together. So let's get the serious stuff out of the way. I really should have written this guy's name down. I'm really kicking myself that I didn't, because it was a good question. The guy, he was from New Zealand, and he wanted to know how I made my economy so strong. And one thing I actually learned, the best way to, in the long term, make it so it's really stable and you're really making a lot of money. Right now I'm making $10,000 a turn, is to make sure your cities are producing wealth. Because if you can see this number right here, that's the amount of wealth that each city grows per turn or decreases. But make sure that's a growing number. And when you have, how many? I have 29 territories, and when you have 29 territories, all increasing their wealth at a number at like I don't know, 25, 43, what else? Like 32. When you all have all these cities producing extra wealth, it definitely makes an impact, and it'll make a huge impact. Not that much at the beginning of the game, but at later stages of the game. And the best ways to increase those numbers is through philosophy technologies. Definitely, I wish I had researched more at the start. I kind of saved those off until now, but those can really help you in the long term. Roads increase that number. Things like textile industries, like smithing industries and crafts industries, all increase that number. So definitely the way you want to create a stable economy in the long term is to make sure that all your cities are producing wealth. And that combined with upgrading these like government buildings, that increases the tax percentage, so that gives you a bigger cut of the wealth that they produce. So, that kind of sort of 1-2 punch definitely will help you create a stable and strong economy. Other things, trade partners, huge. I've got like 8 trade partners right now, and the more trade partners you have, the more money you'll be raking in. And the more diversity of goods you have, the more goods you have coming in from these little trade theaters, you're selling those to other people. So that's extra money. So keep that in mind, because I remember I was talking to a subscriber, and he said he kept raising his taxes until the people revolted. But what that does is it makes it so these cities can't produce that wealth. So inevitably that your economy will stagnate because it's not producing any wealth, and that's something you really want to watch out for, especially in the later parts of the game. Just to briefly touch on this, because I don't have a lot of time right now, Scarotus 101 wants to know how to use the terrain to your advantage, and this is a really good question, but I don't have enough time to touch on this here, and I like to touch on it in more of a, maybe in a bit of a battle sequence. So I just wanted to know that let them know that I'm gonna talk about that because it's a good question, but not right now. Just I'm kind of waiting for the opportunity to be able to, because there's a lot of content to talk about in terms of, you know, using environments to your advantage during combat. So just let them know that that's coming. Moving right along to the less serious questions, we have a fantastic one from SinCon7 who wants to know who my favorite Lost character is and why. And if you guys didn't notice, I'm a pretty big Lost fan. I've vocalized that a couple times on the show. And it's a toss-up because there's so many great characters in that show. But as you could see if you watched Lost and you saw my clips, I'm a huge fan of John Locke, because that character, John Locke, he's such a tragic, but he's such an inspirational character, because that man has gone through so much crap in his life, and he's been manipulated, and he's been abused, and he's just been like used as a tool in such horrible, cruel ways, and he still finds the courage and the ability to keep moving on and keep, you know, living his life. And that to me makes John Locke such an incredible character, and such a compelling character. But tied up there with John Locke is Sawyer, because one, he's just hysterical, he's really quick-witted, he's really well-read, but he's also a very, very tragic character, because, you know, he hides so much of what he feels, and clearly although he represses it, a lot of it, because of, you know, what happened in his past. I don't really want to spoil so much, that even though he clearly hides it, he still cares a lot about people, and he still cares a lot about certain people, and that again makes him a really compelling character. Just even though he seems like such a jackass, he's deep down he's not like that. And again, there's just so much I could go into about Lost. It's just such a amazing and well written and well scripted show, but this isn't Let's Play Lost, this is Let's Play Empire Total War. So another random question from JumpTuna07, who wants to know my favorite city in the world and why. And I'm assuming he means real life cities, like not like what's my favorite city in Empire Total War, because they're all the same. But in real life, I'm gonna restrict it to cities I've actually been in, because I'm sure everybody thinks I'd say something like Moscow or Stalingrad, but I've never been to any of those cities. Foreign cities I've been to London, and I've been to, you know, some places in the States. I've been to Kyoto, and I've also been to, oh man, I can't even remember how to pronounce it. It's the capital of Honduras. It's like Telicapluga or something ridiculous, but I've been there. And I really would have to say that my favorite city I've ever been to in my life is probably Kyoto, just because the Japanese culture is so amazing, and just because the city was just so much different from what it was like here in North America. It's just, you know, it's so much cleaner, the people are just so much nicer, and there's just so many incredible things about Japan that I could go into on right now, but again, I gotta refrain, because we've only got a certain amount of time. So Kyoto probably my favorite city I've ever been to in my life so far. So there you go. I like this question, or this comment. I can't. Dark Pathfinder seems to comment that I don't like the polls for some reason, and this is true. I don't like the polls, and I don't really have a good reason why. I just don't. And but that's not the reason why I'm picking on them. I'm picking on them because they're part of my victory objectives. My victory, I had to hold Warsaw for victory, and I have almost all the cities I need. The last two territories I need are Morocco and Spain. So that's going to be the direction I'm going to take in my next Let's Plays, but just so you know, even though I do have something against the Poles, I can't really explain why. It's fairly arbitrary, but that's not the reason, excuse me, why I'm picking on them necessarily. So the last question I'm going to address quickly comes from TideFan375, and he wants to know why the tunnel would stop at Oslo. And that's simply because you have no idea of the logistics of the tunnel. It would take years for us to, and thousands of dollars, for us to re-divert our current trajectory. And it's just something that I can't do in this current time span, so that's why we're focused on Oslo. And we also went to Oslo because some dude whose name I forgot kindly asked us to. But unfortunately, that's all the time I have for now. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing. This is JosefVStalin signing off for now, and I'll see you next time.